my goodness. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all just not ready. You are not ready for this. I ain't gonna even take no time. Welcome everybody to the Big Time Show. Those that are following Boss Cowboy, those that are following Law Nation Sports. Welcome to the Big Time Show on tonight. This is a major night. Not even go through preliminaries or nothing else. We got one of the greatest coaches in the game today. My friend, my brother, who I have been associated with since I have been at least, I mean, it got to be at least for me, 8 years old. And he was 6 years old. We played football together in elementary. We played football together in high school together at Kirby High School here in Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, now you know him as one of the great coaches in the land. He's coached at Texas Tech. He has coached at the University of Oklahoma, the assistant head coach there. He is now the assistant head coach now at the University of Southern Cal, the USC Trojans. This is a bad boy. It ain't no doubt about it. This is head coach Dennis Simmons, who has graced us with his presence tonight. Hello, coach. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Man, look. I'm good because you keep helping your boy out. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave me in the cold. I like that, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate you hanging with me. And Lord have mercy. Look who I got with me tonight. Come on now. Good Lord. I mean, it don't get no better than this. I mean, I have two, no doubt, of the greatest podcasters, cowboy podcasters, no doubt, in this country, and Boss Cowboy Sport, and of course, Law Nations. Boss, what's up, man? What's going on, man?
What's up? I just wanted to say real quick, Coach, you are the first coach in history with a diamond necklace. I want to give you a hand. For real, when I saw your press conference, I said, wait a minute. Wait, is that, can I come off the top turnbuckle though and get to the nitty gritty?
Yeah.
So we know you coach CeeDee Lamb. All right. Yeah. So with you coaching CeeDee Lamb, I'm going to just go and come on with it. He was the number 2 under you, and he made that transition to the number 1 after Hollywood Brown left. You was the man that helped him get through that transition. How did you prepare him for that moment?
Well, I mean, I think he was always wanting that moment. So it really wasn't conversations and preparing him to get there. He always saw himself as being that guy. And I think that transition is repeating itself now that he's in the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, I also have with me the one and only. Y'all know who he is. I mean, y'all know him. I ain't got to introduce him. The one and only Law Nation. Come on, man. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, I appreciate you guys for having me on this platform. Shout out to you big time. And also shout out to Boss Cowboy. But last but not least, man, Coach Simmons, man, it's a beautiful moment for me to be here talking to you about these wide receivers that play on the biggest of the brightest stage. CeeDee Lamb playing with that number 88 on his chest.
Man.
And, hey, this is by far a contract year. Believe it or not. So a lot of chips are pushed to the middle of the table, and I'm going to get right to the point. Is CeeDee Lamb, as my guy Michael Irvin would say, is he a number 1 wide receiver?
I mean, of course, if you're asking me, I'm biased, and and I think through time, throughout this season, that it will unveil itself. I mean, there's a lot of things that kid is capable of doing that. He's shown flashes of it and sparks of it, but I think now, there's no reason why he can't show you the full package.
Yes, indeed. That's what I wanted to hear right there.
Coach, let me. I know we got plenty of follow-up questions, but we just gonna hang with you. I already know, Coach. I didn't mean to jump. Look. I'm coming to CeeDee, but let me talk to you because I know you, and I know you've been incredibly busy. Let's pull back just a minute, just with me here. Talk to me, Coach, about the transition from a powerhouse like Oklahoma, where you coached, to now moving to USC. I'm interested in and see, has it been difficult considering you guys were recruiting for Oklahoma? Now you move to total different state. And now, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, if you can tell me, are y'all concentrating on the West Coast as far as recruiting, or some of your ties from what you were doing in Oklahoma, is that transferring over to Oklahoma? I know the quarterback switched to USC. Is it a difficult transition?
Well, I think it was a difficult transition because it was one that was unexpected. So I mean, once everybody kind of got over the shock value, okay, this is what we're doing. It was work as usual. Here, of course, if there's a kid out on the west, we want to try to sew up and bring that talent and keep it out west. But our philosophy as far as just going out and trying to find the best players that we can find and evaluate to fit in what we do and want to win and have the right mentality. I mean, we'll go anywhere to get those guys. And that was something that we did at Oklahoma. And, quite frankly, it's not going to change by us being here at USC.
One thing before the boss get again, let me tell y'all about this guy, because he's too modest for me. This guy here is a dog. Wait a minute. This guy coached Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
He's a Biletnikoff Award winner. Come on now. He is coached, oh my God, he's coached, of course, Hollywood Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And these are just some of the names you guys know. The guy of the Ravens, but now he's with the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, he's had CeeDee Lamb. This guy's coached All-Americans. Numerous All-Americans. He had a hand in Mark Andrews, the tight end from Oklahoma, who's now considered one of the greatest tight ends in the game today. This man who's trying to be modest and all that kind of stuff, but I speak up for you, brother. I speak up.
What about Drake London? Did also he coached Drake London?
No, I did not have Drake.
You didn't have Drake.
Yeah, he got to replace Drake London. I was going to talk about that. Yeah, we got to talk about replacing Drake London.
Go ahead, boss. This guy has a bad.
Yeah, I just want to kind of dig into the CeeDee Lamb just stuff real quick, and then ask him about some principles and offensive coaching principles. But just kind of knowing what the nation want to hear, especially on my channel, it's been some doubts, just being straight up, coach, on CeeDee Lamb, not by a lot, but by some, right? So, but like obviously, my instincts say that he wants it. I can see how he works. I can see how he puts on weight in the offseason. He just seemed like a workhorse type of guy. But you worked with him close up. So what I know the people on our channels want to know is, what is the real mentality up close of CeeDee Lamb, especially because you worked with him before he was the star that he is now, but you saw him as a pup to now he's a man. What is the real raw truth about his mentality?
Well, I mean, I guess the quickest way to kind of answer your question is, when CeeDee came in, CeeDee was 178 pounds and probably ran anywhere between the 4.7, 4.6 range. He left to enter the National Football League. He was, hovering between 195, 198, somewhere along there.
Right.
And he was in that 4.4 to 4.5 range. So, I mean, that kind of, that right there kind of speaks to his work ethic. He's an extreme competitor. I mean, one of the best things that was for him is that he had Marquise Brown on the other side. And, because those guys would compete with each other, not just during practice, but during games. I mean, if Key scored, then you're like, all right, I got to score. And, that healthy competition and that healthy mentality of, okay, I'm going to do what I can to help the team win, has always been his mentality. And, CeeDee played primarily on the outside in college. And, you guys have covered this story and know it better than I do. Dallas wasn't looking for a receiver when they drafted him. I mean,
right.
And when they brought him in, he really came in and played out of position and played in the slot. Football player that, we were able to move him around a lot here, especially that last year that he was there at Oklahoma with us. So, I mean, a lot of the things that from just a pure fan perspective, you don't really appreciate what he brought to the table when he came there.
Right.
So, as he's now getting a chance to get into his own and really from a perimeter standpoint, a receiver standpoint, at that part of the team, get a chance to be like, okay, now I can showcase my full arsenal of talent that I possess. I mean, I think the sky's the limits for him.
Oh, that's some good points there, Coach. I was looking at CeeDee Lamb as being more dangerous with two-way goals from playing from the inside. But by you telling me now that primarily majority of his snaps was on the outside, man, I'm so far off from it because I look at CeeDee Lamb, his short area quickness. I don't see that top speed like you mentioned. Of course, that he got more and more talent now as far as his speed. But I do look at CeeDee Lamb as a dangerous weapon when getting the ball immediately. And we saw that in a few games, just like the Saints game last year. And, of course, in some other games. And his unbelievable game was the Patriots game. I know you probably rewind the tape. and he went up against the number one wide receiver, number one DB, J.C. Jackson. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you see from a coaching aspect, if you can say freely, that CeeDee Lamb has improved on this offseason?
Well, this offseason, I haven't seen him. I hadn't seen a lot of his work. So, in just speaking with him, I know he's worked on, his release game, both from press and, loose off coverage there. So I know there's going to be some improvement there. Getting in and out of his breaks is something that he's always worked on. And then just the competitive catch aspect of it. The windows are not as open as long on that level as they are, say, in high school and or college. So, I mean, those are some of those things that he's worked on. As well as, you guys have seen, if you've seen pictures of him lately, obviously, the conditioning and
he working.
The added muscle that you're going to need being that feature guy.
Yeah.
So he's not one of those guys that is just, hey, I hope for this to happen or wish for this happen. You come in the league as a rookie and you go for 700 with the type of receivers that he had on the roster as a rookie. And then you're second, you're the third leading receiver on the team, and then you follow that back up. And mind you, this was coming off of COVID time too. So
right.
You put that back up, with a regular season as your sophomore year in the league, and you go over 1,000 yards to make the Pro Bowl. I mean, I don't know what else really needs to be said or what else to tell you. I mean, how many rookies doing that?
Not many.
Let me welcome to the show. I understand that I sent it to CD, and I understand in the chat group that he is watching. CD, brother, we love you here. If you are watching, thank you I knew you were going to come and support your coach. You got friends right here. We love you, brother, and go ahead and tear it up this year. Coach, let me ask you.
Yeah, no doubt. Do your thing.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I don't know if this is kind of going to give an insight of what you guys are going to do at SC, but if you can, once you knew that CD was that guy, and I realized that you had plenty of other weapons, but how did you guys use him really at Oklahoma as a chess piece? Because that's the talk that's going around now in Cowboy land. How are we going to use to get Tony Pollard and CD more explosive plays? How did you guys game plan? Did y'all use him kind of like we're going to line him up everywhere?
Yeah, we did. I mean, if you go back and you look at the film, I mean, you see him line up and on the outside on the right, you see him line up on the outside on the left, you see him line up in the slot on both of those sides. And we also lined him up in the backfield. I mean, there was things that we did with, motions pre-snap. There was things that we did with misdirection motions pre-snap. So, I mean, when you get a guy like that that's so dynamic with after the catch, I mean, you figure out ways to create one-on-one matchups or just create space matchups. And the first guy ain't going to tackle him. So you figure out ways that you can put him in some space and let him do his thing.
So keeping them stationary, obviously, is robbery to an offense.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I'm not in Dallas meetings. Not in the
Go ahead, boss.
But I'm sure, those guys spend 18 hours, watching who they're going to play and figure out ways. So, the thing is, he's in a great spot right now where they'll be able to utilize him and be able to do some things with him, and he will make them right for doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just want to just ask you real quick, because listen, I'm a defensive guy. I ain't gonna lie. And when you're a defensive guy, you really don't truly know the nuances of offensive philosophies. So I'm gonna lean on you, coach. All right, so get ready. So there's been a lot of talk about Mike McCarthy saying that CeeDee Lamb is going to specifically play like a Jerry Rice role, and specifically said the Z receiver in a West Coast style offense. What in the hell is Mike McCarthy talking about?
I don't know, Mike. I've done several interviews, and there's been things that I've said that has been kind of written not exactly the way I said it. So, I mean, I don't know the context of the question that was asked to him. So, in his defense, I mean, I don't really want a Monday morning.
The concepts. I was just hoping that some of those concepts kind of registered to you. I will
say this.
Yeah, please enlighten us, please. Yes.
A lot of times, especially in those type of interviews, because I know that there's several universities that I'm not going to name. They will take those interviews and pull out exactly, you're going to do this concept?
Yeah,
okay.
I got you.
And you as a former defensive guy, I think you know what direction I'm going with this statement.
Yes.
And they'd be like, okay, yeah. So
spin. I got you.
Yeah. I gotta ask you something, but go ahead, boss. I see you right there.
I just got one.
You know me, I was gonna jump in there, but go ahead.
Hey, just real quick, because I want to just ask him real quick, because he was almost a Dallas Cowboy coach. Let's be real now, because the word was getting out there on Lincoln Riley with the Dallas Cowboys before Jerry killed it. So I was gonna ask you. I'm gonna put you on the spot now, because I heard you said don't be easy on you, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. You are now the assistant head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. What are you gonna do with this offense? What's gonna be your offensive identity, and what are some of your offensive principles?
Well, I mean, I think you go back to what you know best. I mean, if we were there, we would do a lot of the same things that you saw us do at our previous place at East Carolina, at Texas Tech, and that you'll see us do here at USC.
Okay, gotcha. That was a good way to say nothing, because I knew you weren't gonna give away what you do.
Oh no! Listen to me. And when we hired Coach McCarthy, ain't no sense in me lying about it. I was cheering hard for Lincoln Riley to be there, because if he would have been there, Coach Simmons already know I would have been in Dallas every week. He's gonna drop off. Ain't no doubt about it. I was gonna be there, so I really,
Well, you go 90% of the time anyway.
I'm trying, man. I'm just trying, man. I'm trying to get down there, but
I get you. But you would have had a place to stay, right?
Oh, ain't no doubt about it. I'd be right there in your house on the floor or something.
That's so dope.
I don't want to put you on.
Ain't no doubt. Dennis, let me say there's a lot of Kirby folks on here, man. So I know you're not seeing the chat, but it is a lot of people from our high school that are here. Just say hello to them. And I see Cedric Morris, and oh my goodness, Eddie Woods is here. It's just a few people.
You know what? They had our reunion, I think, last weekend.
It was.
And we had camps last weekend, and this past weekend was our largest recruiting weekend for the upcoming year. So I wasn't able to attend, and I hate that I wasn't able to attend, because, I mean, I say this and with all sincerity and love, like, had it not been for my experience growing up in East Haven, going to Caperville, going to Kirby Middle, going to Kirby High, I mean, I would definitely not be where I am today. So, it hurt my heart that I wasn't able to get back just to see old friends. And I know it's been way too long since I've seen a lot of them, but trust me, everywhere I go, they go with me, because they're always in my heart.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I know you've already kind of answered that question before, but let me ask you quickly about, I know you talked to him. I don't know if you've been working out with him or whatever, but talk about his blocking, because that's going to be major for us this year as well. And when we think of CeeDee, we think of his yards after the catch and how he catches the ball and punt returning and all that. But one of the things
that separated him from the guys that was in that class, and why he was arguably pre-draft, one of the kids that they were talking about is, hey, okay, this is going to be the first receiver off the board because he is that. He is a true football player. I mean, and he's a true unselfish football player. I mean, okay, if I get the ball, yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to help my team. But if I don't have the ball and I got to block, I'm gonna do that too. If I got to run my guy off, so the ball carrier has a clear path and vision of where he should go, I'm gonna do that too. So I mean, like I said, all of those things for the average fan, you don't appreciate it as much because you tend to follow the ball and whoever has it, let me see what they do. But it takes 11 guys on the offensive side of the ball to have a successful play. I mean, that's one of the biggest differences, in my opinion, between offense and defense. Defense, only one guy theoretically has to make the tackle or needs to make the tackle. So I mean, you could play with 10 over there. You could get away with something and play with 9 over there. When you do it on the offensive side of the ball, usually something good does not happen. So, I mean, that's just a true indication of who he was as a player when he was in college. And it's been, it's held true thus far now that he's in the NFL.
Man, Coach, you spoke the real on that one because as a wide receiver, there's no plays off. You want everything to look the same, especially getting off the LOS. And, of course, you make most of your plays off ball. You got to make sure that you play through the echoes of the whistle. And I'm quite sure CeeDee does all of that.
Yeah, and I never really heard somebody say that that's what separated him. That's the first time I actually heard that.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't even break him down to that degree. I think I got caught in the sexy stuff. You know what I mean? But I didn't break down the little things. I'm just being honest. I'm just being all the way honest.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
I'm just being honest. I didn't break down the little details of like how he blocked the running guys off. I didn't break him down to that degree. I appreciate that. Coach,
the complimentary routes that you have. I mean,
yep.
Yeah,
the clear outs. Yep.
Yeah. You talk about getting, in the league, a handful of people have to touch the ball.
Right. Yeah. So, right.
In order for that to work and be successful, they all have to be on the same page and want to play with each other. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those things that your successful teams, all of the skill guys are playing for each other. Everybody.
Yeah. Right. Coach. Now I'm being selfish a little bit because it's not too many times that we get to talk to an assistant head coach at a powerhouse school that also coach for a lot of powerhouse schools, right? So whenever I get a chance to talk to a coach like you, I'm gonna try to learn some things from you. So my thing that I want to try to get from you is what are some of your, because I believe every head coach gonna have some offense or just coaching philosophies when it comes down to principles with leading men. What are some of your principles when it comes down to leading men?
Well, my first one is, and this is, I think everybody should carry this in life. People are going to do as you do more so than what you say. So before I could ask them or hold them accountable for anything, I have to check myself and make sure I'm holding myself accountable for that, whatever it is, whether it's on or off the field. And I'm a big proponent of, life teaches you habits. And you live by those habits and you stick to those habits. I mean, it's either or. Either you're going to have winning behavior or you're going to have default behavior. Mm-hmm. So one of the standards and one of the things in my program is whatever we're going to do to be successful, everybody's going to follow that. And I'm a big proponent of, really, I coach football, but I preach and I teach how to be successful in life because I feel like if you do it in one area, then you create that habit and it just transitions and carries over to everything else you choose to do in life.
Man, Coach, that's a power bomb of the truth. A lot of people fail to realize football itself, there's a lot of integrity. What are you doing when no one else is watching? And especially on the defensive side, of course, I know you're on the offensive side, but if you have cutback responsibilities, you got to make sure that you don't play hero ball. And I'm quite sure that there are principles put in place just like that into everyday lives as it relates to also educating the youth that you at your stage right now can also push it out for the future. And I love that statement by you, Coach.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
that.
you, Coach.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Well, I don't want to do it because we talk. So I just wanted my
Bro, just
guy.
ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Man, look,
If
I'm
I don't want to
trying.
answer it, I'll tell you, hey, I can't answer.
I know how we roll. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get you in new type of whatever. Let me just
Trust
say
me,
this.
you ain't got to worry about that one. Like I said, if I can't answer it, I don't want to answer it. I'll just say, hey.
That's my guy. How? Well, let me just ask it this way. In the passing game, because most all of us, Law and Boss, we're not too sold on Kellen Moore. I'm not 100%. We believe that he's a more passing coach than he is a running coach, obviously. But let me just ask you this, since I think that's the way it's gonna be anyway. Law, if you believe he gonna run the ball, it's just so be it. But I've seen enough. How important it is, Coach, to have control of the middle of the field. By the passing game. I mean, is it more important? Do you have to have that dude as a tight end in order to open everything up for the outside, or is it a matter of? I mean, I know it's because of philosophy, but how is it important to control the passing game in the middle of the field between the hashes?
I gotta be honest with you, man. I've never really looked at it as, hey, we need to control an area of the field. I mean, when we're kicking on all cylinders, we're we're making the defense account for all the spaces on the field. We're not necessarily saying, hey, we're just gonna focus in
Yeah.
on one particular area. And I think most successful offensive minded coaches egos are to the point where we're not trying to force players to fit the philosophy. We're
Oh,
taking the tools that we have
Mhm.
and working the philosophy
Yeah.
around what we have.
wow.
So I mean, if I have a dominant tight end, well, we're gonna create things that showcase and utilize the dominant tight end. If I have
Y'all
a
know where I was going with that, don't
then
Yeah.
you? Go ahead.
we're gonna take plays and do that. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and critique or judge Coach Moore because once again, I'm not sitting in those meetings. I don't.
Right,
There's always three sides to every story,
right.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not telling his, and you're hearing someone else's narrative. So the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't. I don't really buy into that philosophy. I'm like, if we're playing somebody, we want to make them account for the whole field, and
Right.
there's a variety of ways that you could set up and create things to make them answer for that or have an answer for that and prepare for that all week.
Yeah.
And if they do, then what's our answer for that? All
Gotcha.
right, then we may have to work this area of the field. So I mean, I never really look at it as, hey, we're going to do this or we're going to be a dominant at this area. It's okay. We're going to practice on certain things. We're going to figure out what we can get good at and what we're really good at and what everybody can execute at, and then we're going to build from there.
Before they come back, Law Boss, we got a lot of people coming in. Let me introduce some of you to who our guest is tonight. This is Coach Dennis Simmons, the assistant coach, head coach. I'm sorry, the assistant head coach of the USC Trojans.
Yeah.
He previously was at the University of Oklahoma,
Yep.
and he coached our number one wide receiver all those years at Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. So I just figured that who knows him better than his coach, the one that recruited him, the one that coached him, and he'll just
Mhm.
be able to give a little insight to Cowboy fans of what we really have at the number one. Okay, go ahead, boss.
Yeah. Now this is a question that you might dodge or you might answer. I don't think it's too controversial, but I want to kind of get some insight from somebody that's sitting in very, very privileged shoes. The fact that you are an assistant head coach and I play Division 1 ball, a lot of people don't believe that there are politics in football. They think that it's really truly a fair playing ground, which is not. It's politics in all sports. So, like, I want to ask you, how do you and Lincoln deal with some of the politics that can try to sneak into the game? For example, donors might prefer a certain player over the coaches, and how do y'all kind of fight through the messy side of football, which is politics, versus dealing with the players when you got to do what you got to do for the team? How do y'all navigate that maze?
I mean, more with who your leadership is in your university and who your leadership is as your head coach. I'll be honest with you, we've never, and everywhere that I've been in my career, I've never encountered that where, you know, someone like that would question like who you're playing.
Right.
And our kids, our philosophy and our system. That I mean, our kids know because they get the results of what they're doing from, how many yards they ran, how many balls they caught, how many balls
Right.
that were thrown at them, how many balls they dropped, why they dropped it, how they dropped it, if it was a catchable ball. I mean, all of those things they see day in and day out when they walk into the meeting room right after practice. So I mean, when it comes to game time. I mean, they know, and you said yourself you play Division 1 ball. So I mean, after every practice, if you come into your meeting room, the first thing you see is your results from what you did. So
Right. Facts.
I
Hmm.
stacked up against the guy that I'm competing against, and against the guy that lining up next to me. I mean, you see all of that. So I mean, there's no hiding that. So we never really run into those type of issues.
Play to win the game, man.
Go
That's
ahead,
what you got to
go ahead,
do.
Law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That these guys should play to win the game, or coaches should coach these guys to win the game. Uh, this guy, CeeDee Lamb, he averaged 8.4 yards per tote last season, and his buddy Debo Samuels, they call it the wide back. Do
Mm.
you see CeeDee Lamb getting more touches in this particular
Woo.
system in the backfield? Do you see that, Coach?
Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. It wouldn't surprise me because football is such a copycat sport. It wouldn't
Mm.
surprise me if they don't.
Facts.
If they didn't utilize it from time to time. But I do know just from past experiences when he was, in college. He had opportunities to do that a couple of times, and it was pretty successful. And I'm sure, knowing
Mm.
him, he's probably lobbying the coaches there to, hey, give me a shot to do it. But I don't, how far that conversation would go with them, and when it would happen. You know, I'll be honest with you. Sunday is one of our biggest work days, so I get to see bits and pieces or clips stuff. Uh, from his
Yeah.
previous game. Most of the time, my wife or my son is sending me, "Hey, TV did this," or occasionally he and I'll talk after his game, or he'll send me a clip. Hey, what you think about that, or things of that nature. But so I don't know exactly, from their standpoint of how they want to use them in their philosophy. I'm just as much as a fan as everyone else from that standpoint.
Wow.
That's good. That's a good
Coach,
point.
let me ask you this, because of course I've been following you for a while. Uh, at Oklahoma, we haven't seen you in USC yet, but we all know Lincoln Riley's an incredible play caller. Um, One thing that you guys were not known, at least for the first option, if I could say that, you guys were not known as a running team. You guys were,
Mm.
spread a lot. I'm not saying y'all didn't run, but you guys were known as that. Tell us how important the running game is to a predominantly passing offense.
Well, I mean, we did have Joe Mixon in the
Joe
backfield,
Mixon.
Yeah.
and he had over 1,000 yards. We had Samaje Perine in the backfield. He had over 1,000 yards. Uh, and then we had Rodney Anderson in the backfield.
Yeah.
Y'all ran the ball.
We
Y'all
ran the
ran
ball
it.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah, yeah.
honestly, we actually ran the ball more than we threw the ball. Now we had
Yeah.
explosive throws, but we
Hmm.
really did run the ball more than we threw it there. But I mean, that's one of the perceptions that
Yeah.
comes with this offense is like, okay, when you hit people with big shots down the field, the natural assumption is, oh, okay, well they're gonna spread you out and throw it all over the place. Which, if you give us that opportunity, we will. But in a complete offense, we can line up, and there was a lot of 4-minute drives that we had to be successful and win games.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to lead into earlier. But your approach on cover 4 or quarters defense, would you try to throw out of that to get them out of that look, or would you just say, okay, if they giving us the underneath, we'll design and draw plays for that? What is your philosophy on that?
Well, I mean, if we're getting quarters the whole game, obviously you're going to have some holes in the run game to where you can expose some people. So, I mean, if it's working and we're successful with it, we'll ride that wave until it falls.
Yeah, Coach, I heard you in one of your interviews actually talking about being creative to get your best players the ball in space. So obviously CeeDee Lamb is one of our best players in space, but then also Tony Pollard. So those are the two people in the offseason that's getting a lot of the hype, and there's a hunger to get those guys the ball. Just, I know without kind of giving the secret sauce, what would you envision with a Tony Pollard just conceptually and a CeeDee Lamb in terms of getting those guys the ball in space?
Well, with Tony, you can line him up in the backfield. You can motion him out to the slide. You can motion him out to the outside if you want to really determine whether it's a man or zone coverage, depending on who they send out there with them. That could be one indication that you can utilize to get him the ball in space. CD, you can pretty much line him up on either side of the ball, in the slot or out on the perimeter, and utilize motions or half motions and send him back as ways to create matchups and space to get him the ball. So I mean, like I said, man, those guys that are at the Cowboys on their coaching staff, they didn't wake up yesterday. So I mean, they understand this, and they understand how to do it. So I mean, I have no concerns or worries whether or not they
get the ball.
They can create ways for them to get the ball.
Wow. Well, Coach, do we got a little more time with you, or you got to go?
No, you got me for a minute.
All right. Hey, we got you for a minute. That's good. Listen, I want to again thank you for giving us just this time. I hope you'll come back before, and I'm not putting you on the spot, before you really get crunk up, because I know you won't have no time then. Maybe right around training camp. Hopefully, Cowboys training camp. But speaking of which, when do you guys start training camp? I'm sorry.
We will. Players will report, I think, on the 2nd, and I believe we actually kick off on the 4th. And I may be off a day or two on that. We still got another session of camps, summer camp, high school camps to go this week, and then it's summer film and finding creative ways to become better here with our guys.
Okay. Yes, indeed, that's good stuff.
All right. So look, just again, and just a recap for what I've been asking already, Coach. You guys at Oklahoma use CeeDee pretty much kind of like a chess piece on a chessboard, really. That's what it sounded like to me, just to figure out how the defense is playing formation-wise. We heard something here today that we haven't really heard, and that coming from you, I'll take your word that you said he's better on the outside than he is pretty much on the inside. So that's real heavy. So I'm saying the best way to use CeeDee is to line him up as a chess piece. I'm just let everybody know that.
Well, I would say this: the best way to utilize him is get the ball in his hands and let it do what it do.
No more 5 targets in the playoff and only 1 reception. No more of that, man. You got to give the ball to the playmaker, and I believe CeeDee Lamb is just that guy. And
Which he showed you guys a little bit, if memory serves me correct, because there was a couple of several games where you had a receiver out where he played primarily on the outside. So I mean, and I think those games it was early on in the season. He had a couple of monster games where they did. I will say they were either in Seattle or out in San Diego. I know they were out on the West Coast one because it was early on in the season, and he was excited.
Charger game.
It was the Charger game. The Chargers game.
Yeah.
So I mean, he gave you a glimpse of what life would be like out there.
And I think if he were to finish that Chiefs game, he would have finished out pretty much good in that one. But he got knocked out of that one. Yeah.
Oh, that was the one where he fell on the back of his head or something?
Fell on the back of his head, yeah. Because he was the only receiver at that point, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, boss. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say, because I know we kind of conclude, and thank you so much, Coach. I think you added so much value to the football nation and Dallas Cowboy Nation, who had, some general questions about, the up-and-coming season and the mentality of our players. We do know that you lost Drake London, so I want to kind of, now we've been selfish, I'm going to turn it to you and talk about what's going to be your plans to kind of continue to take USC to the next level and to live that good privileged life that you live in of coaching football.
Well, I mean, and you hit the nail on the button right there. It is a blessing every day that I get to come to work and be able to be around such elite proven athletes. Our goal here is obviously to be the best at everything that has nothing to do with wins and losses. And how we go about doing that is, once again, making these guys understand that you're a unit and you're accountable to each other. And kind of to piggyback off of the question that was asked earlier about my mindset or our mindset as
philosophy,
as coaches, if we can get our kids to be accountable for each other and create quality good habits, then the football and everything else will fall into line.
That's what's up.
Yes, indeed. I got a guy just keep asking me about Zachariah Branch. Is that a guy that you guys gonna have?
I can't answer that.
All right. Let them wait. Yeah.
Coach, I'd be wrong if I didn't, because you got a kid that's watching you. You know where I'm going with. I'm trying to put him in your hands, but you got a few years ago, and that's Mr. Woods, Xavier Cobbs. I know you know he is. He's watching now, and he is flat out clowning. He's ranked here in Tennessee. He's jumped up to the number 2 receiver in the state of Tennessee. So, and he's a junior going in. Yeah,
congratulations, man. Keep grinding.
Yeah, keep grinding. I know he's watching now, so I'm glad. I told him I would shout you out, and since you would be with us tonight on that. Coach, you know how I feel about you. Me and you go way back, man. I've known you for majority of my life, actually. Good Lord. I mean, we started playing ball at I think 8, and I think you were 6, if I'm not mistaken, something like that.
Played for the Jets.
We played for the Jets, exactly. So, I love you, brother. No doubt about it. And you just don't know what this means to me to have somebody like you, because you're a big wheel. Ain't no doubt about it.
Big wheel.
You can try to be,
Coach.
You can try to be honest.
Same dude from 29.
Yeah, you the same dude, but you got, man. Woo. We love it. Like, we love seeing it, Coach.
We're talking to, whether you know it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this guy will be an NFL coach.
Wow.
So it's just a matter of he would have been one, but him and Lincoln, they
it's gonna happen.
They can't get rid of each other. So
it's gonna happen.
Thou should decree a thing. Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
And it shall be established.
Like his name too hot, y'all too attached. You know what I mean? It's one of those things to where eventually, because everybody know that y'all stick together because y'all trust each other. A relationship since y'all was 19. That don't happen nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that we all can kind of see the writing on the wall, Coach. And I definitely privileged to have been honored because it's really truly no telling what your future is.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But right now, I want to focus on just being the best version of me I can every day, and hopefully giving the guys a good example to follow, and watching and seeing where the future carries us. Like I said, it's a privilege for me to come to work every day, and so many people poured into my life, and I just want to pay it forward.
It's bright, Coach. It's
Law,
bright.
You got anything else before we let them go?
Man, Coach should have put those sunglasses on, man, because it's bright. His future is bright, man. Congratulations again, man. Being on that side of the world, too. The weather is nice, by the way.
Oh, man. I'm so jealous. 106 over here in Dallas.
Right. So,
I
man.
Tell him about Memphis Heat. He already know.
He already know. Memphis Tennessee. Yeah.
I definitely remember that.
Yes, Coach, keep grinding, Coach.
August workouts, man. I definitely.
Don't remind me of that, man. Coach, I love you, man, and thank you for being a friend to me. Thank you for being a friend to the Big Time Show, and I hope that you made a friend in Boss Cowboy Sports and Law Nation Sports. And man, if you will, I know you're about to get busy, but come on back and hang with your boy one more time. And I appreciate you so much, man. You don't know how big this was for me. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me. Nice meeting you two gentlemen.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Good luck, Coach. I'm gonna let you go, man.
Enjoy, man.
I'll call you tomorrow sometime. Thank you again personally.
Oh, you good, baby. Bye, man.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we're gonna send you some players too, man. I got a whole gang of young youth players that want to get on to that next level, man. So.
Have talent, we will travel. So send it on.
I'm gonna let them know.
We need to link him up with Big Game James. That's on the cool.
Yeah,
Big Game James is talking to. That's on the cool. This is real talk, Coach. We got a guy that we do shows with on Tuesdays. That's all he's doing right now is talking to the top high school people in the country. So it's a lot of links that like Law Nation and he go keep his word on that.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
Okay,
yeah, Coach. I'm gonna send you these guys. Information, and that way you can fly following them. You kind of peep them out. You know what I'm saying? They good, Coach. Look, if they with me, they good.
They all good.
They all good. Ain't no doubt. Coach, I love you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging with us.
I love you too. Tell your mom I said hi.
I will, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed, man. That's good.
All right, man. Ooh, now let's go.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
The water was warm.
Yeah. But he's again, everybody, he gone now. I mean, but
he gone.
He gone now.
That boy good.
I enjoyed that, man. I enjoyed that a lot. First of all, thank you.
That was the assistant head coach of the USC Trojans. The assistant head coach.
That's super
if
big.
Lincoln goes down, he coaching the team, kind of like the way, like and Kellen Mound and Dan Quinn step in. That's what he is to USC. He was that way in Oklahoma. He's in all the game planning. I didn't even get into that because we didn't want to talk about scheme. And some folks listening in, but this dude is the truth. He's only 47 years old. To be that young and have that many credentials is simply outstanding. I mean, for I'm sorry whoever's watching before, an African-American coach to have that type of trust by, no doubt, probably one of the gurus of offensive play calling in Lincoln Riley, who was almost our head coach. This guy is the truth. So we were blessed tonight to have him just share with us about that. I'm appreciative to him because I know he's going to be watching this a little later on. I'll talk to him a little bit later, but before we get into a little recap, thanks to Law and thanks to Boss, because they did not have to join in. They could have let me do this by myself, but I wanted everybody to share in this because I know it was big. You see what I'm saying? Now, see, Mix, I'm a preacher, actually. See, Nix, I see the comment there. I am an assistant pastor here in Memphis, so that's my little preacher voice. If that's what you want to say, so be it. I'm a Cowboy fan, but thank you guys for hanging with me. I just wanted to share that because I knew you guys have done shows on what we talked about, many shows, and to hear it from his mouth because he talks to him. And CeeDee Lamb actually was watching this tonight. I saw that. So if he's still watching, CeeDee, God bless you, brother. Do what you got to do, man. Go and be a dog like everybody know that you are. Your coach loves you, as you already know, and we standing behind you. But what a pretty good show. Go ahead, Flaw.
Well, I just wanted to just kind of recap on some of the things that I kind of learned and confirmed is I want to get into the mentality of CeeDee Lamb because see, that's what some people have been questioning, right? And so one of the things that I heard from Coach Dennis that I was actually researching him before we did the interview, and he was basically saying, and he said the same thing again, that you either have it in you or you don't, and you born with it. And he made a hellified case of who CeeDee Lamb is. The fact that he still knew that he walked in soaking wet 170 pounds and a 4'7" athlete and came out a 4'4" athlete, 4'5" athlete with more muscle, more tone, and doing all the little things. See, that's the type of inside information that you was able to get tonight from a coach Dennis Simmons, to where I felt good about CeeDee Lamb taking the next step. I feel way better because the one thing I also feel way better about is Coach Dennis didn't take no credit for CeeDee Lamb. Did you notice that? When I asked him, how did you develop him? You're like, huh? Develop. It's who he is, So, and he pushed that. And he made sure that he didn't take an ounce of credit from the individual work that I knew number one puts in for himself and for the passion for the game. So that's one of the takeaways I got from this. I just wanted to kind of hear from y'all real quick what y'all got, but that's definitely mine.
Shoot, just to echo that, when he was talking about his competitive drive, his mindset of becoming better and better and elevating himself from one level to the next. And like you lamented, going from 174 to right now, he's close to 200.
Yeah,
he's close to 200 now.
When he graduated, he was 190. That's so he was talking about the 20 pounds a month he put on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. Now. And that is determination.
Yeah,
that is determination.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you need to have on this particular sport. You got to look at it and say, oh, if this is the record, and I was going to tell Coach this too, I got this right here. I'm predicting that CeeDee Lamb is going to get over 116 receptions. Do you remember this, Boss Cowboy? And I also said that, hey, over 1,400 yards, and he's going for the juggler.
You said something about the touchdowns, though. That was
that's what I'm saying. He's going for the juggler.
Yeah. Okay,
and that is over 16 touchdowns. He's going for Desmond Bryant's record. Now, as we got the pastor here today, thou shall decree a thing and it shall be established. And I'm trying to speak this into an existence because therefore, when he get on to that playing field, when they start running his routes, they're going to say, man, look at CeeDee burning it up. There's more than one of them out there. Boy, y'all ain't going to like it out there because I'm telling you guys, when you have that determination and that mindset to really set things on fire, it don't matter who you throw off in there because CeeDee got that mindset that he want to become the best and the greatest. So that's why he don't mind embracing the 88 because I'm quite sure that he was probably looking at that number 10 and he said in the interview that the playmaker called him and said, man, I would really want you to wear that 88. That's a lot of pressure on that boy's shoulder. So we'll see if he's going to stand tall, and I believe he will.
My boy Special K say, you talking that yoga flame, bro. I ain't got my buttons over here, bro. I will hear you fire.
Yeah. Let me say this. I really believe, football is not complicated. That's just the way I feel about it. If you have playmakers, put it in their hand. It's not complicated. If you have your players, put it in their hand. Now, I'm gonna say this. I believe that is going to happen this year because
Yeah.
it's jobs on the line, man.
Big
I
facts.
feel that. I feel that. And when we start talking about McCarthy with the, a lot of people believe that the shadow of, Peyton is over him.
Right.
You have Moore, who a lot of people some are happy about him, then some are saying, he's not the number 2 offensive coordinator, all that kind of stuff. His job is on the line because if a new regime come in, he knows he's got to go. So I really believe that they're going to make every attempt this year to make sure that the ball goes into the hands of CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. And what did Coach Simmons just say? It's simple. He said, look, just put it in his hand. That's all you got to do.
Get the playmakers the ball.
Put it in his hand. He going to do what he got to do. So I really believe that I'm like Boss. I already knew it, but when in the hands of, as far as CeeDee Lamb goes, I am more confident after hearing what I heard tonight. And it behooves the Cowboys to whoever is in the house, because I'm quite sure somebody from the Cowboys are gonna get this show here. Please put the ball in these guys' hand, please, gentlemen. It's not hard. It's really not.
But I'm gonna be honest, Coach. This is one of the things that I'm getting ahead of one of the videos that I'm getting ready to do. But I'm gonna be honest. I think the ball is already all the way down the street. You know what I mean? I think the ball is already down there. I think they know that they needed to go away from the system philosophy. Right. It's been a lot of noise in the offseason from major, powerful people, Hall of Famers, speaking against the system philosophy of Kellen Moore. And from what I'm hearing from Mike McCarthy talking about CeeDee Lamb playing a Z receiver similar to a Jerry Rice, I don't think there's no in between on that, because I quoted him, and I know Coach Dennis was like, sometimes you can accidentally read in not between the lines correct. No, I quoted him. I think they already know that they made a mistake by not targeting Amari Cooper, and I think they're going to really try to make up for it through CeeDee Lamb. So CeeDee Lamb, at least next year, is not going to go through what Amari went through, where you had a star being treated like a role player. I think they're going to treat CeeDee Lamb and Pollard like the star. That is, I think, right now, the divide that has been handed over to Mike McCarthy against Kellen Moore. The only thing that can sabotage that would be Kellen Moore, because he still has the keys to the Lamborghini, right? Even though the Lamborghini is Mike McCarthy's car, the person who drives it is Kellen Moore. But the overwhelming philosophy push from Mike McCarthy is clearly to get the balls in them playmaker hands.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And that's a brilliant observation, especially Mike McCarthy. He's validated to say that. Why? Because he was on that coaching staff with Jerry Rice at one point, right? And he understands the nuances of getting the ball to the playmaker and understanding like what happened last year: 5 targets, 1 reception in the playoff for CeeDee Lamb. That's not something that you can pretty much go back to the drawing boards and say we did everything we did. We did everything we needed to win that game. Also, he coached up with Horn in the New Orleans Saints. What was that guy named? A wide receiver name? Horn. Joe Horn.
Joe Horn.
Y'all remember? Joe Horn. He coached with that guy. So I believe with Mike McCarthy, if he's saying that he looks at CeeDee Lamb as it relates to Jerry Rice, I don't want you guys to look at the high end of Jerry Rice, but just look at the philosophy of how they attack with Jerry Rice. Because a lot of people going to say, oh, now he's Jerry Rice.
No, we're not saying that.
No, we're definitely not saying that. But Joe Horn, everybody in the chat said Joe Horn. Appreciate y'all, man. But I just look at it like this. I get it, right? The detractors will look at CeeDee Lamb, and the first thing they would say, look at what the other guys are doing to Justin Jefferson, or look at what Cooper Kupp done did, or what have you. Keep in mind, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, Cooper Kupp was developed to become Cooper Kupp. He wasn't Cooper Kupp of the Cooper Kupp that you think in his second year.
Say it, bro.
right? So give it time for CeeDee Lamb to develop. And for those who say, hey, you have a high drop ratio, what have you, for CeeDee Lamb, he had 7 drops. Last season, Debo had 12 and 4 fumbles.
Yeah. Nobody don't talk about that, though. Nobody don't talk about that. No, they don't talk about that.
Oh, I got you. I got you right here.
No. Listen, man. Listen, it's just amazing to think about what the possibilities, I guess, of what.
Right.
As much as we kill more, and I've been on my show, I've been killing them. But at the same time, some stats cannot be denied. Since he's been offensive coordinator, he has been in the top 3 ever since he kind of took the job. He knows how to move the ball. It's no question. I give him credit for that. It's the red zone that I've always said he has a problem with. He's not as effective. The question is going to be, I've always said, from the 20, our 20 to the opposing team's 20, there's not too many better than Kellen Moore. He can move the ball. It's inside the 20 where we scratch our head and say, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this year, if they do what Coach Simmons, Lincoln Riley did with CeeDee, not only CeeDee, Tony Pollard, if they move them around and just don't keep them stationary, it's almost mind-boggling what can happen. We ain't even talked about Gallup coming back yet, but when that happens, I mean, it's just too much for a defense to deal with if they are properly put in the right places. I just think that because jobs are on the line, I'll say it again, I really do believe that we're going to see a lot of different stuff this year. Pre-snap motion, Pollard line up in the backfield, motion out, Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, motion out. I think the possibilities are endless of what's going to happen. I just hope that they do it. If they do, we're gonna be up there again in every offensive category that we can think about. So I just hope that they do like Lincoln Riley did. Lincoln moved everybody. I mean, we saw that if you football.
But you know what happened though, right? With Kellen Moore. You know, this is the analogy that I've been using for a long time, and those who following me, they know what I'm about to say. That new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get those corners.
Yes, sir.
And I believe what's happening when we get close to that red zone, money zone, green zone, that those corners is where he's having troubles at. Everything condenses as it relates to play calling. The field is shorter, and Kellen Moore begins to become a statue at that point and not developing and drawing up the best plays that can work. That's why he was ranked 23rd in the National Football League as it relates to red zone. Number one in total offense, number one in points. But 20, look at I can feel it a little bit if it was 13, but 23 in red zone. Look, he gonna have to work on that, and hopefully, going into his 4th year, he become an old broom. And he can get some of those corners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, boss.
Well, see, the thing with Kellen Moore is, you know, we all get the optimism from him having assessed between the 20s. And you know, the thing is, he's also still a growing OC. But the problem is he's a growing OC with an impatient fan base. So we expect you to be grown even when you're growing. We treated Dak like that. We didn't care that Dak was no rookie. We didn't care. We was like, listen, throw in Romo because he grown. That's what a lot of people were saying. Right. Even you see what I'm saying? It was the fact that they trusted the maturity of Romo. But they was like, we don't want a kid trying to get us to the Super Bowl, even though the team believed in that. So it's one of those things to where all of us are in the conundrum, right? Because we want his head, but what if he is what if he is the next great OC that needed to cook, right? And let's be honest, a lot of us threw Anthony Brown away We did. I know I did. I was ready to throw him all the way in the trash.
Yeah.
But over time, he really did become a really good corner as of last year. Like, I still want to see it again. But let me just say this. What if Kelly Moore is Lane Kiffin? What if? Because I know me and Coach Marv talk about this all the time, how at one time Lane was super pass happy and he developed balance. Like, we are still dealing with a developing OC, and it's just a conundrum. I don't know how we go deal with it.
Yeah, you just said the key factor, boss. He's a growing offensive coordinator with a very impatient fan base.
Yep.
And that impatient fan base, if they do not do what they're supposed to do, I got a feeling they will not make it to next year.
Right.
And so that's.
I don't know about Kelly.
Well, here's the thing.
Kelly might be all right.
It may be. Jerry Wayne Jones may say, see, y'all got rid of my son. Now this is my grandson here. Let them wait. Now that's why a third of the fan base were like, hey, if we are going to sit here and grow another coach, let it be Lincoln Riley. Let it be a whole new tree. Let it be a situation where as you bring him in, and you heard what Coach said, they did get a chance to get 1,000 yards off of Joe Mixon and it's Samadre P-Rod. So, hey, there could be a situation where it's the Cowboys. Can you imagine with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard under Lincoln's system, and as well as CeeDee Lamb, and if you still incorporate or include Dan Quinn, that could have been the magical recipe. Who knows? But that's a story of a different day. We got to roll with Mike McCarthy. I'm starting to believe, and hear me out, everybody that's listening, I'm sold on Mike McCarthy right now.
Me too.
Why? Want to know why?
Talk.
Y'all want to know why?
Yes,
I know you're shaking your head.
No,
Come on. Come on. Look, come on, pick that head up.
Because I want to see this fight. Big Time Show versus Law Nation. Because I'm so with you, Law. We would jump Big Time Show on this show, on this platform.
But here's why. 6-10 his first year, 12-5 his second year. His back is against the wall. He can't literally snatch the playbook from the grandson of Jerry Jones. He can't. He had to sit there and watch this dude burn down the kitchen. Hear me out before you don't shank me with the butter knife, people. But here's the thing. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
His second year, he was 12-5. Now going into his third year, we already hear news and noise that they practicing too tough, and he get fined. He get fined, not Jerry Jones. He get fined $100,000. When have Jason Garrett got fined $100,000 for practicing too tough? Come on, man. I like this Mike McCarthy, man.
Me too,
Look, man.
Start the fight, because I'm
Come on.
Enough.
I want to see this fight. What you got on that big?
Brother, I love you and enjoy what you do. But did not Mike McCarthy say this last year? He said, whoever installs the play
calls it
during the week calls the plays.
Big fact.
Which essentially means that he does not have anything to do with the offensive game planning and play calling on Sundays. That's his philosophy. Now, if that is the case, and you know that is the case because he believes in running the football. Why he entered? Oh, no, I really understand the wide receiver set, but when there was a need to run the football, why did he not say, "Hey, let's go ahead and change this thing up"? That's because he could not, because of the rules that. So essentially, when he got hired here, he was able, to go ahead and hire his whole coaching staff, except one person who was essentially put on him, and he did not have a chance. So he don't have nothing to do with this offense as far as I'm concerned. Of course, I'm not there in the game meetings. Right. I don't know about the game planning, but I'm really seeing the same thing for next year. Now, I don't know what he's done in the offseason, but he really does not have you're taking away his best attribute. His best attribute was an offensive coordinator. That's his best attribute. And he's not even doing that. So
and I see what you're saying. At the same time, I do know that there's at least pressure. Can we at least say that it's at least pressure? Yeah, so that's where it's different than last year. Because what was they also saying last year? Kellen Moore's a genius. Kellen Moore's the next great head coach. Kellen Moore could do no wrong. Why do we even need Mike McCarthy? So Mike McCarthy stepped back.
There you go.
He stepped back, and it was like, okay, that's y'all man. Yeah. And plus, I don't even think it was just messy or self-preservation. I think it's truly his philosophy that, listen, I want my OC to succeed. So the way that because he treated Dan Quinn the same way, though. Like he said, if you call it, you install it. I mean, if you install it, you call it. But nobody had no problem with Dan Quinn, right? It was the fact that he's developing the young Kellen Moore. And like we do our kids, what do we do with our kids? We let them hit their head sometime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think he let Kellen Moore hit his head. He sat back and watched him. Yeah. And was like, okay, son, are you ready to learn? Real classic philosophy. And now that we are in 2022, we're hearing the pressure of Mike McCarthy's true philosophies. Like, we have never heard them talk matchup football until this year. This is the first time that they talked about matchup football. True. The previous years has been all system. When the guys do what they're supposed to do, when the guys have good practices, that's how Kellen Moore talks. Now go listen to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is on, we trying to use CeeDee Lamb as the Jerry Rice, and we trying to create matchups. So there is a fight between them two. My only hope is that Mike McCarthy wins this fight and hasn't been unsullied to the point to where even though he has the right vision, he doesn't have the empowerment to implement.
Right. He ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice, Lo.
Yeah. And if he were to snatch the playbook last year away from Kellen
it wouldn't have worked, dog.
He would have took all of his leverage.
Yeah.
It would have took his leverage away.
Man, you got a button for that,
bro? That's all I got. Is this one right here?
Oh man, that's good enough.
Fatality.
Say that again. It would have took his leverage.
Facts. His leverage, man. You know. So, and this is a stubborn general manager, owner, right? So what he believes that, hey, look, like you laid it out real easily. Look, you can bring in whoever you want, but that one right there, that one's mine.
Right.
Oh, he finna go to Boise? Nah. That one right there, mine. Hey, he finna go to Miami.
I'm gonna put some more money.
Right. Yeah. That one's there. Mine's. That's my grandson. You know. So that's just what it is, man. I hope that this season that we don't look like we're not prepared. You know, I tell people all the time that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. And the Cowboys, as an organization, going into that playoff, we can clearly see that they were not prepared. Some of my warts with Mike McCarthy, because I don't think that he can walk on water, by the way, Cowboy Nation.
Yeah, he got some issues.
Clock management, right?
And can I add one to it? Just one more to it before you finish real quick. Also, the motivation. He struggled with that with Green Bay. The emotional side of a team. Like he don't like unless he's smashing watermelons. What other ways do you get your guys inspired to play?
He lost. Go ahead. I'm sorry, locker room. He lost a little bit of that locker room in Green Bay. He did. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, he did. He did lost the locker room in Green Bay with that. You know, hey. Yeah. So I just look at it like this, Cowboy Nation. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We lost you. No, my bad. No, I was running over your feet.
No, go ahead.
No. Well, I was just going to say is that, motivation comes in multiple ways, and that's just not his cup of tea. I just don't believe. Even Jason Garrett can give a motivational speech about a Navy SEAL, and everybody be like glued to the seat a little bit and falling off, sleeping. But here's the thing. Motivational speaking for Mike McCarthy, I just don't think that that's his cup of tea. Right. Let Dan Quinn do that part of it.
Or players, right? You could assign players kind of like, and this is the idea that I was talking about after the Denver game, is who are the guys that's going to get that whole sideline going when it's flat, which happens, right? Because Coach Simmons said something. He said the number one philosophy that I have is I first got to be the example before I expect the example. That's what he said. Yeah. Right. So who are the guys that, because I can't see Zeke head down and Dak head down when it's bad and Tank head down. Like, who are going to assign these guys and say, all right, when we see that sideline flat, it ain't on me because that ain't my thing. I mean, like, my name Mike McCarthy and I really can't really do all that. But the guys who are the vocal leaders, like, it got to be something other than we can't do nothing.
Parsons. It's Parsons.
Parsons a good one.
When I listened to Parsons' interview, and he literally said last year he saw some flaws on this team, but by it being that he was the rookie, he couldn't speak up or speak out on certain things. But he said now this year, that mouth is unmuffled. And Curse, the green dot guy, I think Parsons, Curse, and it got to be somebody on that offense. Got to be somebody. Yeah. Got to be somebody. I don't know who's on that offense. Dak is that dude that gives the opening speech, but
I think Zeke will be good.
I don't think it's Zeke because he had it and Roger Goodell snatched it from him.
Gentlemen, it might be Lamb. He knows he has to step up this year.
It could be Lamb.
It could be.
I'm saying in every facet, as far as leadership, he is the guy as wide receiver now, so he is the leader of that wide receiver room. I just feel like he's going to be that more of a vocal leader. That's his personality anyway. I think we kind of heard that, from Coach tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if he bring that dog.
Yeah, because CeeDee Lamb be talking that cash.
Yeah, he been talking.
I forget how he did Parsons. Like, people got to remember how he did Parsons. Yeah. What was the show that they did?
When they were the 70s, when they were
HBO.
HBO.
Hard Knocks.
That dude told Parsons in his face, I was looking at you and you were scared.
Yeah. Talk much.
You got to keep it up. Yeah, you got to keep it up.
Yeah, see, because he don't look like a dog. That's what kind of be pissing me off. I'll be honest. It's people that ain't dogs trying to say he ain't no. I was like, bro, you are not no dog. Listen, you a cat. So a cat can't say what a dog is, all right? Like, a dog know a dog. You know what I mean? He just not the type of dog. See, because when people say dog, they think it's only one type of dog. You got to be Des Bryant. That's the only dog they know. It's super dog, alpha dog, atomic dog. You know what I mean? Omega dog. No, it's other types of dogs that get you going, but they get you going in their style.
Yeah.
No
doubt about it.
Oh my gosh, man.
Man, this was fun, man. I don't mean to cut y'all off unless y'all want to keep talking. I don't mind, but I enjoyed tonight. Coach Simmons, if you're watching or you watch his replay, thank you again. Just for giving us a little of your time, and we appreciate it so much. Personally, I'd like to thank Boss, of course, and Law Nation, two of the hottest podcasters in this country, actually. Many of you are on here. You guys know what they bring to the table. I'm just glad that they allow little old me to host this show and let me hang with them for this time. This won't be the last time that I will be with Coach Simmons, and when he comes, I'm going to make sure that I bring these two brothers here with me again, because a lot of the things that we asked are a lot of the shows that they have done, and so it's just easy to go ahead and just bring up those questions again to one that knows, one that's knowledgeable, one that has had his hands on CeeDee And that major question that most Cowboy Nation has is CeeDee or number one? Well,
Yeah.
I hope that you have heard from a person that knows him best.
Knows him personally.
Yeah, personally, we hope that that question has been at least reduced. If you're one of the ones that say no, hopefully your mind has changed tonight because of what you heard on tonight. I'm good. Hey, Coach Marv is on here. I would do some call-ins, but I ain't doing no call-ins tonight. Y'all got to catch me on my show when I do it on this Saturday. Of course, tomorrow night, you guys should know by now that Boss, Law, OC, and Big Game James are probably going to do the last word. You guys go ahead and hang with them. If y'all, it's plenty more to come. It's plenty more. Plenty more. That's plenty M-O apostrophe. Plenty more to come. So you guys, maybe they'll talk about this tonight. And of course they'll have their own show. But I thank you brothers for just giving me hanging with me on tonight, because I didn't want to do this one by myself. I could have, but I figured that you guys have worked pretty much, and I just know you guys would have benefited to the show. And look, right now on my count, we got 330 people that's still here that's looking. So the Cowboy Nation was in the house. You heard it here first. Let's go ahead and get a little confidence going. I believe we can after the night. How about y'all?
Oh yeah.
Y'all go ahead and say your final word if y'all let me use y'all monitor. Go ahead.
Well, man, you know what? I didn't like this at all, everyone. I absolutely love this moment, man. And this is what the Cowboys communities is all about, is being able to share our independent mindset, our independent thoughts, and combine it together and spit it out to the Mecca about this team and what we're going to do for the future. And I cannot believe that some of you guys are sitting here not hitting that like button or sharing this content. Man, if you sitting here watching and you have not hit that like button nor share this content, man, what's wrong with you guys? Because we got the man, the coach, the mindset that helped create this whole opportunity with us with CeeDee Lamb, and I can't wait to see CeeDee Lamb going into his third year. People judging CeeDee Lamb like he's been in a 6-year wide receiver, right? They do the same to T Diggs too, right? You know, they judge these guys on such a high pedestal or a high level, but I'm quite sure that CeeDee Lamb is willing to eat, and I can't wait, man. I really appreciate you, Big Time Show, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Go ahead, Boss.
Yeah, my final word is obviously thank you for trusting me and trusting Law to be good stewards of this interview, because obviously that's a big interview. That's not a small guy. That's an up and coming guy, assistant head coach, and been basically could have literally been, if Lincoln Riley would have been taken seriously for the Dallas Cowboys, we could have been talking to the assistant head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's how up and coming this guy is, and I think we gained a lot from this show. We gained a lot about CeeDee Lamb. We gained a lot about philosophies and playing the politics and just different things that people want to know. Potential usage of Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, matchup philosophy. If you haven't watched this show, rewind it and watch it. It's a good one. You can definitely follow me at Boss Cowboy Sports and Law Nation and the Big Time Show. Follow us all. Don't walk out that door without hitting a like. That is very rude. Also share this content, because this one answered a lot of questions, and I want people to have their questions answered going into the off season. My last thing that I will say is, we are having a final word tomorrow. We're going to be doing a show on the potential breakout players, and we go all have our own individual breakout players, and start making predictions as we get ready for training camp and start putting the final touches in the preparations for training camp. So thank you, Douglas. Thank you for, obviously, trusting me and Law. And then let's go Cowboys, DC4L.
All right. Most of you guys know, most of you guys are already following Boston Cowboys. Some of you don't even know who I am, but it's simple. It's there on the ticker for you. Follow me on Facebook, The Big Time Show, and then the YouTube channel is the Big Time Show podcast. Just find the videos with my face. Just go ahead and subscribe to that. We all in the same arena. These are my brothers. I follow the both of them. Enjoy what they do. They're great at what they do. I'm just grateful to just to add my little 2 cents in. Hang with them. So I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Coach Simmons will be with us again. And we'll see what he has to offer. Hopefully we can get him again before training camp. And it would be awesome, and then we can go a little bit more in depth. As you can see, he came in ready. He wanted to answer questions. He didn't shy away from too many of them. So that shows trust. And so we gained a friend tonight. Boss Cowboy gained another friend. Law Nation, we gained another friend. So we're going to use this, and we'll do this again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure that you follow these guys on tomorrow night for the final word with OC and Big Game James. If you want to hang with me, I'll be back on probably this Saturday. I need a little space. I'm in my doctorals class. I'm trying to finish up my degree, so I'm trying. I ain't got time to really play, but I'll be with you guys on Saturday at 3:00 Central Time. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all better follow me, because y'all see I ain't playing around with y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Boss Law, stay with me just for a second if you can. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is, as I always say, the Big Time Show. Thank you guys. Let me get y'all off real quick. That's all I wanted to say. They still here with us. Something wrong with my thing buffering, but thank you, brothers. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging.
Okay.
No,
I was like, man, we still
I'm
live?
jamming. I like that jazz.
That
jazz had me.
Man, just,
I'm still rocking with it, man.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm telling you, I was
hitting that key.
That jazz. But I appreciate you guys. I thought I can get them off, but something happened here. But I appreciate you guys. I'll get in contact with you again. Appreciate y'all.
Okay.